Lighting appropriate. I'm not sure.
It's a little rough. It's a little rough.
Yeah, it is kind of shady. They could turn those on.
Maybe. Can you turn those on, Ron? All right, let's see. Early is like the logo guy, so it's blue, the yellow dots. You do that. Oh, you just get back? Oh, I haven't seen anyone with one. No. I'm going to get one. No, I like the logo, not the shadow.
Be amazing what, you know, yeah. You just can't hold that thing on in the dark.
All right, my fellow flingers, thanks for your patience, and our guests. We're ready for the second annual National Doubles Fling Golf Championship kickoff. Give yourselves a big hand, you made it. We have a lot of regulars, got a lot of new people, so it's always formal to go over the rules. And if we're going to do that, we need to start right at the top with our commissioner. Let's give a warm welcome for John Coolidge.
Good evening, everybody. Great to see everyone here for our second Potomac Highlands Doubles Championship. The fourth year in a row we've had a tournament here. Pretends to be a fantastic weekend. The weather looks beautiful for the whole weekend. Really excited about the competition we've got going on this weekend. It will be doubles throughout the weekend, starting tomorrow with kicking things off with the Pro-Am down on the prep course. I think most of you that are up here tonight are going to be involved with that. If you haven't heard either way, definitely come see myself or Jonathan after the festivities tonight. We'll get you signed up there. There is room, although we have a lot of people participating, so it should be a really fun event. Then moving into the core of the weekend, the two-day doubles championship, starting off with the team scramble tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, right?
Well, I think what we'll do is we're going to try to go right in lunch at 1 o'clock when the bell rings. Be ready to be first in line
so that we can get in and get out. We love to take off at 2 o'clock. So if everybody can be up at 1:45, ready to go, 2 o'clock, we're going to have shotgun start every hole. Everybody's sitting on every hole. So you need to be ready to go as soon as possible. You saw what was at dinner. We're going to bounce around and visit, but tomorrow's lunch is not that. Get up here. That way we can get back up here at 6 o'clock for dinner.
One quick clarification on that. What's the earliest we can show up for lunch tomorrow?
It is 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock,
Yeah.
okay. So,
Didn't get an early one on that.
we didn't get an early one on that.
So 12:59.
Okay, 12:59, exactly. You're ready to be knocking at the door for lunch, and then we'll try to go off as soon as we can, close to 2 o'clock. So that's the scramble. For tomorrow, just so everyone knows that I think most of you have done the scramble format, but for each team, you tee off from whichever men or women's tee box that you're playing from. Both players on the team take each shot. So you tee off from your respective tee boxes, then you go to your whichever ball you choose, then you both take a shot from that ball, and so on. One little tweak to the rules that we're going to try to do to speed things up for play. Not to get too technical here, but we'll announce this again tomorrow. Just something to keep in mind. For someone, if you're on the green and say you have a 10-foot putt, and you're the first of your team to make the putt, if your putt is, say, short and within a foot of the cup, you can actually then tap it in, but your partner can still try to make that putt. Otherwise, you'd have to basically mark your ball. A lot of times you have to mark your ball away from the actual line of the putt. It really tends to slow things down. So within a foot, you don't really gain any advantage by basically making that tap in. It clears you out, still allows your partner then to take that shot.
So only within a foot?
Only within a foot.
Not within 6 feet?
You can't do it at 6'1" to gain an advantage by making the subsequent shot.
It's still not a gimme.
Yeah, it's not a gimme. Thank you, Sam. You do have to actually make the putt, but it just allows for, so we don't slow people down with marking shots for inconsequential putts. Moving on then to festivities tomorrow night, but then the tournament wraps up with the alternate shot team event. Your two scores for the team are combined. Alternate shot, obviously, as it sounds, you're taking every other shot. So coming from the scramble, things get a little, you've got to have a little more teamwork for that Sunday event. You combine the two scores then to determine our champions within the men's division and the women's co-ed division as well. Oh yeah, so we've got, for what is being played for, in addition to the two champions getting the bling, as we always do with doubles events, it's also you get your name on the cape and pitcher. Our champions from last year, the Iron Farks, on there. Austin Eversole, Showtime is on there. Britt Hammond, who couldn't make it this weekend because she's at Olympic trials. Shout out to Britt right now. Also on the trophy, but who's going to be on the trophy next year? At any rate, that's an overview of the weekend. Really excited to have everyone here. I think the number of people that have been here before is definitely telling. But then I think also the people that are here for the first time, they've heard how special this place is. Jake and Rosie, I know, several others. I mean, Hooters are here, but it's a special place. This is a special event, and look forward to having a great weekend.
Before I go over all the other extracurricular details, one of the things that makes this event so popular and special is having a great sponsor. A lot of times, we're out here for fun, but it's also nice to get some cash prizes. And one of the largest cash prize purse in WLF World League Fling-Off history happens here at the Tacoma Highlands, and that's for only one reason only. His name is Sam Busey. Not only does he make a fine beer, but his legacy at Cape goes back generations, and he's also participates in the tournament. So he's all in. So Sam, tell them a little bit about the brewery and about the beers and your connection here at Capon.
Thank you, Jonathan. And really what makes this all possible is Capon and Jonathan and John. They give us the ability to have something like this, to be a sponsor for something that, you know, they bring the energy, they make it happen. We just bring the beer and a little bit of prizes. Yeah, it's definitely the community. And, you know, I'm in the beer business, so it's kind of a fun business. But as John said, this one really is the spirited community. And it's a wonderful crowd, and we appreciate being a part of it. Lost Barrel's in Middleburg, Virginia, just to give you a little bit of history of it. We just finished our 5th year. Middleburg's about 65 miles from here. It's kind of a hospitality town. It has the oldest tavern running in the country from 1728. And a number of restaurants and things like that. And of course, we're just on the edge of town as well. We're on a 150-acre horse farm. And so it's a very scenic, much like this here. So if you have a chance to visit it, we'd love to see you there. And really, the beer that we've done here with Capon goes back 4 years now. So Jonathan and I kicked it around, we're talking about it, and I knew the profile of the water. Of course, I've been coming here since I was 6 years old, and I'm 59. This is my 59th year coming here. We've missed very few years. We're always the first Sunday after the 4th of July. So there's a lot of a lot of wonderful folks that come each year that time. And so anyway, we started discussing the water. And so I do make several of the beers for 6 months of the year with the Capon water. Of course, the Capon lager is the signature one, and that actually gets the Capon label and goes out in Capon kegs, and that's how it's sold. Some of the other ones throughout the season are also made from it. We make about 40 or 50 different beers during the course of the year. But the interesting thing about the Capon water is, sometimes we have to mineral enhance them and get the profile just right. We created a special transport vessel to move the water from here to Middleburg, and the only thing it needs is to go through a boil to get in to start the beer process. And it has a perfect profile, and so thank you for letting us use it, Jonathan. We really love that. So, well, I won't bore you with any more about Lost Barrel. If you want to know anything more about it, stop by. I hope you're enjoying the beer, and I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good start. Before I get started, though, you may see somebody taking a picture and videos. This guy right here. I heard about Justin Harris before I met him, and those who are here in 2024 know we did a little mini documentary film about fling golf in general. It got around, many of you guys were here and started it, and as I developed this Fling for All Youth Development Program, it became obvious that the best medium to get this across is video and film. And so who is going to be the leading West Virginia documentary filmmaker who does outdoor recreation? And everyone I talked to said, it's Justin, you got to find him. So you get on the schedule with stuff, but we figured out a way to do it, and we've gone through 3 days of filming with some students in a nearby high school, 2 of which will be here tomorrow in the Pro-Am. It's amazing to see how young people are getting excited about it. So he's going to, he's with Mountain River Media. They've done some amazing things with whitewater rafting and a number of projects he's still in the middle of. So I got him just at the right time. So I want to introduce Justin so you can meet him. And he's got a few techniques he wants to tell you about this weekend as he's filming.
Hey guys, thanks so much. Just a couple of things. First of all, tomorrow when you guys are out there, I might come up to you with a GoPro and stick it right in your face and talk to you for a minute. Don't get nervous, just go with it. It's supposed to be like a spot-on interview, so it humanizes you and makes it better. The other thing is try not to look at the camera this weekend, because those shots usually don't get used. So just pretend that I'm not here and we'll be all good. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right, real quickly, some of the extra activities. I don't want you to miss out on anything. We're here this weekend. And then we'll get right into our press conference. The first of which is tonight, entertainment is just to be up here on the hill. After the press conference, it's to be able to hang out, be together. Sam's going to be here as long as you're here. We do have an 11 o'clock curfew. all right, which means we pretty much want to close down the hill at 10 o'clock. A couple of house rules that go along with that. That's just a quiet time. We know people here to have a good time. You get together on the porches, like at the Austin maybe, or the Brent Cottage or something, and you're kind of whooping up. Remember, there's other guests here. They like a good night's sleep, so as long as we keep it quiet by 11 o'clock. We've also figured out our alcohol policy. This is an unusual event that they allow us to do. The only time you can have alcohol outside the privacy of your room, your porch, is with a special event like this. That being said, people set up some very elaborate mini bars on their porches. Happy hour is a very important thing. We're not dry by any stretch of imagination. It's just very discreet. If we can have a private event like this up here, we're happy to do it. So we'll be back up here to do the same thing. The other rule that we have that involves golfers is our golf carts. The golf carts stay up here on the golf course. That's why you had this wave when you read all the fine print. I know everybody did. The goal is to keep the golf carts up here, so you don't take them back down to your room. It doesn't go back up and down the hill. It just goes back into your little slot. If you're number 11, it goes back in 11. Everything here is on the honor system. If you leave stuff on your cart, that's perfectly fine, perfectly wonderful. And that's how that particular thing goes. So, activities. Well, you can be on the hill tonight after the press conference. I've already learned there's an unorganized, unpredicted activity that's happening. Thanks to Sam and Cutter. They're making it happen, so we'll see how it goes. If they do it in the nighttime, we might recreate it in the daytime. That way we can get it on film, and Justin can get it, and who knows where we go from there. This is a trial run tonight. We'll see what happens. Now tomorrow morning there is another trial run. Sam and I are involved in another activity, and a number of other people are as well. And that's the new partnership that Flint Golf has with Speed Golf. So we're looking at sometimes we're a little before 7 o'clock. We'll be up here doing the 9 holes and seeing how it goes. And we'll be done plenty of time for the big activity everybody's doing, which is the polar bear plunge in the swimming pool. Yeah, Adam's ready for that. He's excited. All right. This is a fun tradition. There's a hot showers. All the towels are down at the pool. You don't have to bring anything except, of course, your bathing suit and a happy disposition, because you'll feel great afterwards. By the time you're done with that, it's time for the music to come on at 8 o'clock, breakfast at 8:30, and then the Pro-Am. I'm really encouraging folks to come up 9:15-ish. We're going to do it, not a shotgun start, but we're going to send up people every 5 minutes. That's still being developed. There's going to be 6 of them. We have so many people doing it. We're going to send them to 6 of them, and we're using, those who did this before, we're using 6 holes. It's marked off very nicely with flags which holes you're doing. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. All right, very easy. You do it twice. Very straightforward. We're going to have a number of people, at least 15 people, coming on property who are brand new or just fling curious, who are going to be part of this, which is going to be great. Some of them are young people, some of them are old people. That's the great thing about the sport. It's for everybody. So we appreciate you all who've been doing the sport for a while, sharing your skills, your knowledge, and your good humor with those folks. That's the main subject of the film, is capturing what happens to the program. All right, you've already heard we want to be ready to go at lunch at 1 o'clock so we can be back up here at 2 o'clock. You'll have a great opportunity to have some fun with the pairings. Again, everyone every hole, and then at dinner, we're right back here. So when we finish, hopefully a little time if you need to clean up. We have a cookout feast, we're going to have the beverages, and we also have a special edition of WLF Unleashed podcast being up here, recapping all the events, preparing for the next day. Sunday morning, it wasn't on the list, but 2 people said, hey, aren't we doing this? And I said, yeah, you're right, we should be doing that. We'd like to gather Sunday morning with the devotional. So since Pastor Haas is here, we're going to be having that, we're going to be eating breakfast a little early, 8 o'clock, which means we need to move things back about 15 minutes. So the polar plunge will be 7:15-ish. So that's 7:45-ish, we'll have time for a devotional. We get to go in a little early for breakfast at 8 o'clock, so we can be ready to go at 8:30 for the second round. Most of you, we worked it out, so when it comes time to check out, you can stay in your room. You don't have to get out right away. I would check the front desk to make sure. There were a couple of rooms we weren't able to do that, but my goal for you is that you didn't have to be out of your room before 8 o'clock, before everything started. That way you can hang around, get a shower, and enjoy the rest of the day. We're going 5 deep in prizes. Some of the money in the Pro-Am goes 5 deep. The money just goes 3 deep in the regular tournament, but we're also going to have incredible random prizes up here Saturday night. There'll be door prizes, a few Cape and treats, a few other surprises. And don't forget, there's 2 other awards at least, maybe a 3rd one. The Best Dressed Award, which we have 2 past winners here. No, 3 past winners here. And the Spirit of Fling Award, which last year was the inaugural event, which went unanimously, of course, to Brian and Sherry Marchand. Let's give them big hands. They've lived up to that and more over the last year, so those will be revealed. All right, that's all I'm going to talk about.
One thing on that. The parents, first of all, for the Pro-Am, still a work in progress. Jonathan and I are going to figure that out after the festivities tonight. So you probably, chance you get up late tonight, but people aren't going to be checking emails, so most likely you'll get them at breakfast in the morning. We do have the pairings for the scramble tomorrow. We've got a couple printouts that we'll leave up here. I encourage people to take a picture of it. I will send it out by email late tonight, but once again, a lot of people aren't going to be checking email while they're here, so I encourage you to come up, take a picture of it. We'll also have it posted at breakfast tomorrow.
So actually, part of what we're doing while we're doing this film festival is a fundraiser for the youth development program I already mentioned. And one of the other fundraisers for that, some of you already discovered, is Fling Off Tales. Some of you already got your autographed copy. This first edition of One Person's Journey so far. The books are available down the shop. But again, this is a fundraiser for the youth development program. And last weekend I got my first chance to share this with the guests that were there with a description of the book and a small reading of the first chapter, which most people ask me about. How did you get to play at St. Andrews? So, as we're getting ready to set up for the press conference, I will share with you Fling Off Tales. First, the prologue. I will be the first to acknowledge that at times these adventure tales may seem far-fetched. However, to the best of my recollection, they are 100% true, based on my own personal perspective instead of being centered on the sport of fling golf itself. The founder, CEO, Alex Van Allen, has the rights to that original story, which he continues to share generously in a number of podcasts, interviews, and social media posts. I'm not an investor, owner, or employee of this parent company, New Swarm Sports LLC. Up to this point, I've joked you might as well call me their highest unpaid intern. I do what I do because I love the sport, and my passion reflects how it has brought a richness, fullness, and satisfaction to my life. I guess a better term for me could be an evangelist. I give what I've received in order that others can experience the same joy. So, may your hearts and minds be inspired to claim the same kind of fulfilling life that fling golf offers us all. First chapter. It can't be done. No way would you be allowed to play fling golf on the old course of St. Andrews. I figured if I began by stating this seemingly unattainable goal, maybe you will be interested in staying with me on the whole journey that led up to this Mount Everest moment for fling golf. And you should know that even though I had enough faith I could make it happen, it didn't help that no one else did, including the golf professionals at Old Course Hotel, who were willing to humor me with my attempt. It's ironic because I wasn't even supposed to be there. My trip was not a pre-planned fling golf conquering expedition. Like many things in my life, the series of doors that opened seemed to come out of nowhere. But once I recognized it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I was determined to figure out how to take advantage of it. Here's how it all came to be. As odd as it may sound, the precipitating event that led to St. Andrews was the International Spa Heritage Festival in Saratoga Springs, New York. In October 2024, I hadn't learned about this event until 6 months before it occurred, and that particular location was not on my radar for any immediate visit. But I heard from enough people that the historic waters and spa industry that this would be a fantastic event, and I should definitely go. Then, when none of my colleagues could attend, I felt it was my obligation to represent several different elements of the Thermal Springs community. And like most of my ventures, I found several other side excursions of interest to tack onto that experience, including visiting other all-inclusive, multi-generational family historic springs resorts, and some exciting fling golf courses along the way. At that time, I thought that would be the pinnacle of my fall adventures. However, as I noted earlier, one door leads to another, and some of the spa leaders were singing the praises of an even bigger event scheduled 1 month later in Europe. Soon, I found myself musing about how I could go to the Global Wellness Summit, whose featured theme was a watershed moment in wellness. What particularly interested me was the aspect of healing spring waters and the resurgence of their importance to overall better health. Being amongst an international community of world leaders on a subject I was passionate about was extremely enticing. But I had serious self-doubts about my place in that arena and whether I could qualify as a delegate. The prohibitive cost of the registration was another reason to be discouraged. However, when I saw where it was being held, it was like an oracle calling me to my destiny, and that's when I knew I had to figure out a way to go. After all, what could be more perfect for my dual passions than attending an international conference of healing waters at St. Andrews, Scotland, renowned as the birthplace of golf itself. So I decided to apply to the summit, which meant building up my resume, and wasn't all too shabby, as I was not only accepted to the summit, but asked to be a lunchtime roundtable speaker to facilitate a discussion on the healing powers of spring waters. As I've already stated, the Global Wellness Summit was my primary purpose for traveling to Scotland, but the scale tipper was the quest to do the impossible and play fling golf on the old course. With about 5 weeks to plan, I began an email writing campaign to the St. Andrews Links Trust that oversees access to the famed golf course. Actually, navigating this permission process involved both the impenetrable Links Trust and the more pliable Old Course Hotel, which were completely separate and distinct organizations. It was painfully evident to me that if I was going to play fling golf at the highest level, my entry had to be as straightforward as possible. This had to be legit through the front door ahead of time, rather than the usual way to play in the US. You see, most people don't know that experience has taught us flingers that you don't usually call ahead and ask permission. You book your tee time like any other golfer, and then demonstrate and educate the starter pro registration desk attendant about fling golf. This method has always achieved a yes for me, while a phone call almost certainly a no, because people don't know about it. So after sending several emails to the St. Andrews Links Trust without a response, I went for the local assistance approach by contacting the head of golf services at the Old Course Hotel, Malcolm Woke, which was the golf protocol for all of us summit attendees. There I received a warm welcome, both from him and the golf services supervisor, Matthew McCullough. While they could only pass along my request to enter the lottery to play on the Old Course, they were curious enough about fling golf to book me a definite tee time on their premier course, the Dukes. Another critical factor in my planning was that I was fully understood that to be accepted in the traditional world of golf, I had to present myself in a way that was in harmony with their historic culture. The primary way of displaying this was to bring and play with a traditional golf bag. This was not officially communicated to me, I just knew that it should help. At least stack the odds more in my favor. Not having a golf bag myself, I found an old beat-up bag I could use here at Capon and leave it there and not worry about it. I assumed that would do the trick until I found an even better solution. My mother-in-law, Phyllis Phillips, took off for her adult Capon and left me here in the resort. This opportunity had multiple wins. Using it as a checked luggage bag allowed me not only easily travel with my fling sticks, but also pack extra gear, gifts, and even Capon Springs water to use for the conference presentation. Thus, having her blue and white checkered golf bag was a blessing on multiple fronts. So my wife and I departed on Sunday, November 3rd, 2024, and took an overnight flight to Edinburgh. From there, a series of buses, trains, finally took us to the coastal town of St. Andrews. After checking into our Airbnb, the golf services team of the Old Course kindly picked us up and took us to the course where we could properly register for the summit. They graciously let me store my mother-in-law's golf bag with my fling sticks in their private storage locker where I would have access to it for the entire week. Fortunately, my golf concierge team was able to confirm that I was signed up both for the Old Course lottery as well as the official tee time at the Dukes. They also arranged for my wife and I to have a tee time the next day at their short par 3 Alcove. Although this prep course was part of the St. Andrews Links and the hotel inventory, they assured me that being off-season, no one would care. So I was given access to the on-site driving range and putting green, which was in the hotel's governance. But with the Old Course situated right outside the hotel, where both the beginning and ending holes were right in front of me, it felt like one of those unattainable goals that stands just outside your reach. Still, since the Scotland courses are almost considered public parks, early the next morning, when no one was around, I couldn't resist flinging it down one fairway, chipping it on the green, and putting it in the hole. Figuring that this would likely be my only time to touch this historical greatness, I was satisfied to at least sample the hollow ground. Later that afternoon, my wife and I went to the prep course, and as predicted, without pushback or fanfare, we were able to play on the uncrowded short course. It was a great warm-up round with 6 par 3s between 103 and 195 yards, 3 par 4s between 219 and 298. The few people out on the course didn't seem to notice our unusual method, and we were not to attract too much attention, lest it would negatively affect the bigger goal of playing on the Old Course. The next day, I found out I did not get a slot in the lottery for the Old Course. But I was told I could still sign up for the single daily draw. This would allow me to be added to a slot in a foursome if one opened that day before my requested round. I figured I'd come this far, what the heck. So first thing in the morning, I went to the old Pavilion Clubhouse, signed up for that final area. Later that afternoon, that act of unwarranted hope was rewarded with an email indicating an opportunity to indeed open from 9 to 10 a.m. the following day. If I were a traditional golfer at this point, that confirmation would have meant I was locked in and guaranteed to play with one stipulation. If I could produce a handicap certificate indicating I could shoot at least double bogey on an approved course, having a handicap below 36. However, I did not have those credentials. No, I haven't even played yet. Thanks, Cutter. We're almost there. Thanks for your patience. I'm not a traditional golfer. Still, my Old Course Hotel golf advisor provided one last piece of advice to get me across the finish line. While he had never heard of it being used successfully, he recommended leveraging that I was a golf course owner to see if that would suffice as a bona fide credential. Even with this creative, unorthodox approach, his last words to me as I left his pro shop were, "Because it's the Old Course, playing fling golf can't be done." There we go again with that pronouncement. So on Thursday, November 7th, I showed up 15 minutes before the appointed time on the old pavilion next to the first tee, waiting to take my turn with a mix of optimism and realism. As I watched the groups ahead of me check in and pay their fees, I noticed that no one was asked for their handicap certificate. Good sign. So when I stepped up to the corner counter, I explained who I was and I played golf with one stick, pulled it out of my checkered golf bag and showed it to them. Initially, it only sparked mild curiosity among the 2 women managing the desk. Not sure what to do, they asked a male colleague if he had heard of fling golf. He vaguely seemed familiar with it, and it might have played at a local course somewhere, he thought, which prompted a very lackluster, "Okay," for me to join the designated group. It turned out that as long as I was ready to play right then, I was good to go. The group had already been on the tee box, they lost 2 players, the starter had only one concern. He was desperate to fill the spot and keep things moving. Not waiting to attempt fate and perceiving no resistance, I hurriedly paid my off-season $160 green fees, put my blue and white checkered bag, Trojan horse golf bag, pull cart, and scurried it to the first tee before someone could change their mind. Without ceremony or thought, I pulled out my fling stick, curled my golf on my standard 140 yards down the middle of the fairway, and so it began before anyone could do anything else. I was off. The other players included another American on vacation who had hired a St. Andrews caddy. The third person was a local St. Andrews golf course member. Still in shock, I quickly reached where my ball landed, marked it, then took my 3-step approach, launched another 140 yards to put me about 100 yards from the hole, a par 4. While the 2 other golfers stayed focused on their game, The local caddy immediately realized the significance of what was happening. "You're making history," he exclaimed. "The first person ever playing fling golf on the old course, which means you're going to set the course record." Well, the other two asked a few questions with mild interest. I didn't get their full attention until that third shot when I hit the flagstick. It knocked away about 8 or 10 feet, still a little bit jittery and excited. I missed the par putt, but I settled for a bogey. But I was on my way. I got discouraged that I was actually playing fling golf on the old course, doing what everyone agreed can't be done. In truth, it took about 3 or 4 holes until I finally relaxed enough to enjoy the experience. During those first holes, I was waiting for an official to run out, grab me, pull me off the course. After all, how could I be on this historic property playing fling golf without fanfare or pushback? When a course official did approach us, my heart began to sink until I realized he just wanted us to keep moving, since the hole had opened up in front of us, and his primary concern was traffic flow. By the 5th hole, I relaxed and felt like a regular round of fling golf alongside traditional golfers, with all of us enjoying an unusually sunny, warm November day in St. Andrews. To be clear, because it was off-season, conditions with no crowds, the course itself was unremarkable. Our scores were also unremarkable. For me, a couple of pars, mostly bogeys, and a few double bogeys. One highlight, I did manage, and this is going to sound so old school, a Reggie on a challenging par 3. I did get a little more excited when we got to the 16th hole and approached the Old Course Hotel. Some of my fellow Summit attendees were getting out of their scheduled lunch break. Yes, I was playing hooky, but it was worth it, right? A few of them spotted me and were amazed that I was flinging down the fairway in front of them. I was able to text my wife to join us for the last couple of holes to record this amazing sport-altering event. I made sure I took the iconic photo on the Swillican Bridge in the middle of the 18th fairway as we concluded the final hole. In somewhat anticlimactic fashion, on the green I turned my scorecard in at the registration desk, indicating I just set a course record for fling golf. It was a modest 92. The attendant provided a very non-committal, "That's nice." Somehow I imagined that something of this could only produce 2 outcomes: paparazzi or prison. The only congratulations received was from Malcolm, my golf pro advisor, who had made all the arrangements for me despite standing firm, the natural position that he didn't think it would happen. When I came back sheepishly after having played the round, he simply shrugged his shoulders, shook my hand, offering a bemused smile and a twinkle in his eye. He had finally accepted the reality that it can be done. In honor of the remarkable occasion, I presented him with a fling stick I used for the course record, dubbing it Excalibur, a liberating 49-inch ballistic. I suggested he hang it on a place of respect in his pro shop, or better yet, I encouraged him to get out and try it for himself. As a follow-up 4 months later, I contacted Malcolm to find out what had happened to the fling stick that broke the Old Course barrier. His response, this is in quotes, "I can confirm that several members of the golf department here at the Old Course Hotel give a fling golf a try. The stick is kept in our back store and available for people to use. We have struggled with the short game, haven't we all? But enjoyed giving fling golf a go as a fun alternative to golf. Your mother-in-law's golf bag was donated to a local St. Andrews charity." As it turned out, rather than any immediate personal fanfare for my accomplishment, knowing that these instruments of my glory would live on as part of continued Scottish golf legacy, providing a satisfactory ending to a remarkable day. As for my mother-in-law's golf club holder, I'd like to imagine it could live out the rest of its days as a beloved bag for some retired duffer looking to take up the game, or perhaps some local upstart who was excited to find their first club barrier at the local charity. If only that bag could tell its future owners what it had accomplished that mild November afternoon in St. Andrews. So that the tale would not end with me, shortly afterwards, Sork round, I texted the founder of Fling Golf, Alex Van Allen. He set up an interview with me the following day to share with the Fling Golf community the announcement of this unprecedented achievement. But in our conversation, as I downplayed what I thought was a less exciting outcome than I anticipated, and in his wisdom, Alex saw the bigger picture. Fling golf was readily accepted and easily accomplished in a location no one thought possible, which was the ultimate satisfactory result. After all, a fling golf could be played at St. Andrews, it could be played anywhere. Thank you. All right, it's time for our press conference, so if we can have our top players, Austin, Amy, Jeff, come up to the hot seat. We have some questions for you. Inquiring minds want to know.
How about we're just gonna drag it up here, move this chair. Move the chair. The chair, babe. Move the chair. Yeah, so I can set this one. Good?
I might scoot it in a smidge.
All right, folks. They had no preparation for this. This was a last decision. I think it's a little bit of this. So, for those who don't know, because we have some people who aren't part of the Fling-Off community, from left to right, we have Jeff, hardcore, Harveys, undisputed national champion. We have in our center, Amy Lewis, our number one right player. And of course, I know, no introduction, but let's do it anyway. Austin Showtime, all right, you guys, you ready for questions? Always ready for the questions. All right. Make sure the microphone is you're grabbing us. All right. Some of these questions are directed to specific people, but most of them are, they said, we want to hear from everybody. All right? I gotta find out which part. All right, here we go. Oh, this is more, I think, a rhetorical question that involves Austin and Jeff. So each of you can answer this. Can we please, my emphasis, see an Austin and Jeff matchup, special broadcast maybe? Is that in the works? Sometime in Austin and Jeff playoffs sometime. You gonna do it? I think you're gonna do it. Okay.
Anytime, anywhere.
Wow.
All right, you pick.
That was my question.
You have a question, okay. All right, now these are individual questions. First, these are you Showtime. And we gave people a chance, and I didn't screen any of these questions. I'm reading them for the first time, so if I see something I don't like, maybe I'll screen it then. So Austin, somebody wants to know, he didn't leave names, so I have no idea. I don't recognize handwriting. How much of the shrimp casserole can you eat?
Oh man. Well, those dishes brought out probably 3 of them whole. They were pretty good. I will say, Big Austin and I were sitting there, and they brought our table 2 of those full things, and we looked at each other like, "Oh my God, we're getting our own." And we realized pretty quickly we had to share with the rest of the table. So, but it's pretty good. It's definitely one of my favorite things to get every Friday night when I'm here. So we'll go with 3.
Okay. Next one is for Amy. What suggestions would you have to get more women into the sport of fling golf?
I like that question because I've been thinking about it myself. But I think just continuing to try to spread the word, whether it be through social media. I'm trying my best to try and get the word out there, and then just continuing to encourage any women especially athletes that have prior experience with playing any sport really. To just get out and try it, and I think just getting people to do a couple throws can get them hooked.
Sounds great. All right, then
We
we'll go
would
ahead.
appreciate any help from any of the other divisions too.
Okay, that's all right. You all work together, right? We'll go down the line. Hardcore. Who do you think the first Masters player to beat you will be? Put you on the spot there.
Actually, I think it's going to be Cuddy. Because I've played with him several times, and he has early on in the tournament, he's been step for step, shot for shot with me. Normally there's just been something that happens kind of on day 2, midway through the round, it seems to drop a shot or 2 that gives me a little bit of a gap, but he definitely has the skills. I think it's going to be Cutter.
Oh, okay. Here's a prediction. All right, back to showtime. What is it like to be called Little Austin? I know, inside jokes. Inside jokes.
And I get really awesome questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've been told I had a big head my whole life, so being told something's little. Not many things are called little with me. I'll keep it PG after that. But, I don't really know where to go with that, other than I'm really cool to be Little Austin.
We love you, Big Austin.
All right, this next one actually is for hardcore. What specific action gets under your skin during play? What gets under your skin when you're in a tournament? Get you riled up a little bit. Love cutter. It does say love cutter. Yeah, it says love cutter.
Yeah, I feel like if I answer this question, it's going to happen tomorrow.
You can prove it.
I think unwarranted trash talk. Like, if you can back it up, fine. But if you can't, then don't.
Okay, that's fair. Well, actually, there's one last one
That's
for
not what I would have said.
I can't read the handwriting yet. I think I might know where it comes from, though. And if it gets too personal, again, you don't have to answer. How has Flinkoff benefited your relationship with your wife?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
So first of all, there's no better lady in the world than my wife. So
Really?
I am very blessed to call her mine, and she means the world to me. But I will say that when we decided that I was going to try to do this and do it at a high level, that it caused me to spend a lot of time away from her. So she was great about it, but like I wasn't so great about it because it was just hours and hours and hours. So if you want to be at the top, it does take a lot of time. But so we decided to say her to start going with me, and it's turned into this awesome activity that we can do together. And in fact, in a lot of social media and stuff that we put out, I encourage wives to play with their husbands. Even if your husband's playing traditional golf, it's a way that wives can tag along and be part of the activity and spend time together. And you know, I wouldn't trade that part for nothing. So, love you, babe.
Awesome.
I approve of that message.
Yeah, let's go back to that. All right, these next series of questions are for all three of you. We'll start with Amy. What is your favorite book?
I don't read.
No!
All right, Joe.
Sorry. It'll be yours.
Okay. Yeah, Flinkoff Tales there is a good one.
I don't read hardly at all, but I do read a little bit.
I'm a
I do
reading
read a little
teacher.
bit of my Bible, and also read men's devotionals because I do teach a men's group every other week out of our church. So most of the reading I do is biblical related.
Your son's book.
My son wrote a book,
Yes.
so I did actually read that cover to cover, and it was very good as well. But I'm not a big reader.
Okay, that's fine. Somebody's curious.
He's got a reading teacher
Yeah, I
wife.
read a lot. Definitely the Bible. It travels with me everywhere I go. I'm always reading my Bible daily. But I have a young 4-year-old who I read to every night. And right now she loves a book called The Big Cheese. And it's about a very cocky piece of cheddar cheese who gets humbled at the end of the book. And it's really good because Navy's a lot like her daddy and is a sore loser. So it's an experience that we both go through together. But it's really cool because there's this part that she does where the Big Cheese is like, you know, he's saying something about how amazing he is, and then he like flips to and he goes, "Say it with me, please. I'm the Big Cheese." Ta-da! You know it. So it's so funny. She does it all the time with me, so it's a lot of fun. But yeah, the Big Cheese in the Bible, we'll go with those.
Okay, those are good ones. All right, back to Flinkoff related questions. This time, we'll keep it brief also. Who is the funniest person on the course?
Funniest person?
Funniest.
Man, there's so many players over the years that made me laugh. Want me to pick one from each division?
Don't know.
I don't know. I mean, this is the funniest person.
That's tough.
It's Rosie.
You guys can confer if you want. You can come up with one.
Yeah.
See if you get consensus.
Can we just say one collectively?
Yeah.
This is like American Idol here. Like,
Yeah.
all right, Lala.
Oh.
Lala's fun all the time. No matter what she does, she's fun. Even when she's up dancing with the band, so she's a good time.
All right, this is a mathematical question for all of you. All right.
That's Jeff.
All right, we'll start with Jeff. How many tacos do you think you can eat in one sitting?
Tacos?
How many tacos can you eat in one
A
sitting?
dozen.
Dozen, okay. Amy?
I've done this, 9.
4?
Okay, there you go.
Can I eat or what I want to eat?
Yeah.
Can I? Oh, 10. So.
As a side statistic, there is a record for the most number of hot dogs eaten after a campfire, cake campfire. Stands at 14. Yeah, don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. Okay. All right, this is someone who put 3 questions all on one piece of paper. They come with a lot. And this is supposed to reveal a little bit about your personality and who you are on the inside. All right. So, let's see. We'll start with Amy. If you were a bird, which bird would you be?
An albatross.
Albatross?
Oh, I like it.
Wow, Austin? You were a bird.
Freaking eagle, baby. Let's go. USA. That's what it's all about.
That's a bird.
Peregrine falcon, because I like to hunt.
Whoa. All right, this is an easy war. Cake and water or cake and beer?
Oh, that's easy.
You had to choose.
Cake and water.
Water.
Definitely need the water for the beer, so cake and water.
Oh, there you go. All right. This is one from one of our younger members of the audience. Have you ever gotten a hole-in-one? And if so, tell us about the experience. Anybody? Austin had it.
I had 7. I would say 2 of them don't count because they were the fling off challenges I did on Instagram. So I did have like 100 and something throws at one of them. But my most recent one was with Amy last year at Massanutten, on the 9th green at Woodstone Meadows, the green that gives a lot of us trouble. I was able to get a beautiful hole-in-one right after Hootman was talking some smack in the car driving past in the 8th hole. Hootman saw me miss a par putt on the 8th. He drove off and I hit a hole-in-one on the next tee box, but he wasn't there to see it. But he was my motivation on that stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
I've not been blessed with that
Okay.
yet.
I have one hole-in-one at my home course, Sunnycroft Country Club in Clarksburg, West Virginia. Hole number 4, 142 yards downhill, 2 hopped it right into the center of the cup. That's my only official hole-in-one, and as we were talking earlier, I got to share that with my wife was my witness, and she did not lie for me. It actually went.
I found it. I'm the one that found it.
Our youngest member of Fling Off Community, Luke Plum, he wants to know what your favorite color is. Usually, what's your favorite color, Jeff? Favorite color?
Electric blue.
Electric blue.
Kelly Green.
My answer would be whatever Navy picks this week, but I like purple because she likes purple and skull bites.
All right, now people are looking for advice about how to get better at fling off. So the first one is about maintaining good health. What exercises prevent injuries in fling off? What exercise do to help you stay healthy? Amy?
Well, as a physical therapist.
Oh, right person.
Okay.
Yeah, Amy, you do it all things.
No, honestly, I think that the most important thing that I would tell, any athlete or people that I treat before they do an activity is a dynamic warm-up. And what I mean by dynamic is move and get your body, stretched and moving, not necessarily like your static stretches. So you want to save those for after. What I mean by static is, you're holding a stretch for 30 seconds. You definitely want to wait to do that till after your round, to where before your round, moving, you want to put your arms, move them back and forth, things along those lines, same with your legs and your trunk. And I think that's one of the best things you can do to prevent injury, at least before a round. And then, obviously, throughout the season, just maintaining strength and, maybe consulting a physical therapist or a personal trainer on what works best for you and your body type, and go from there.
All right, we'll turn this one over to Austin. What are the most effective practice techniques? How do you practice? What are the best techniques to practice to get you better at playing golf?
Well, any variation of golf requires you to be a great putter. So it starts on the green. If you can't get a gauge for the speed of the putt, the distance of the putt, at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to score as low as you'd like to score. Because you need putting to save par, you need putting to get birdies, and sometimes get eagles. So putt as often as you can. Get a mat online, get one at home, so you can always putt in the hallway or in the basement or something. But then the second most important thing to me is the approach shot. I hear quite often in our sport, everybody thinks they're the best sidecar player and the best clean sweep player. But when I hear that, the first thing I think of is you need to get better approach shots so you're not always doing sidecars and clean sweep. So if you can hit the green from 100 yards out, 150 yards out, and go straight into putting, you're now able to capitalize on all that hard work you put in putting. So those are the two things. Go to a par 3 course, really master your 50 to 150 yard shots, and putt until you get so sick of it that all you want to do is putt again. So that's my advice.
Good. That's excellent. This is more of an experience one. Have any of you ever been asked to leave a golf course when flinging? Anyone counter that? Any three? No, that's good. Somebody honestly.
I mean, I've been asked a lot of times what the heck I'm doing.
Right, but not asked to leave.
Normally, what my experience has been, once you can demonstrate your skill, that then the attitude changes dramatically. I think in the beginning, I think a lot of people look at it as some kind of farce or some kind of joke, like some kind of gimmick. But then when you step up on the tee and you just say, hey, listen, let me throw one, and then you tell me from that. And if you can throw it out there 180, 200 yards, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, this is like golf. And I'm like, yeah. And I promise I'm going to be the fastest person on the course.
So someone wants you this must have occurred to them, but so it starts with be honest. Have you ever accidentally flung your stick? Accidentally. I think is the operative word.
I've accidentally and non-accidentally. So both of the deadlies I've done, both of those. Like I have a hard time when it's wet, like to be truthful, like to hold on to the stick. So I've lost it several times when I'm trying to throw it like full force. But other than that, no, if it's damp, I have trouble.
Is this question from the because Zach has never helicoptered a fling stick, I can vouch for him. I got you, dude.
Speaking of throwing things, if you could fling a non-sports object, a pizza, a toaster, anything, how far do you think you could send it? I have no idea.
How about you give us an object and we'll tell you how far.
All right, well, they gave two examples. Listen, first a pizza, then a toaster. How far do you think you can fling a pizza? No, full pizza.
Where the flames go first?
Yes.
20 yards.
20 yards.
20 yards.
Is that the toaster or the pizza?
Yeah, hold on. Aqua John, you got any pizza down there in that kitchen?
We'll try some things tomorrow, all right? We'll let that can be dangerous.
Depends on the crust.
Yeah, exactly.
And the topping.
All right, well, I knew they were going to ask something for elite athletes. You birdied 6 of the last 8 holes. Is this the best round of your life? Think about that. You birdied 6 of the last 8 holes. Is this the best round of your life? Yes or no?
Not necessarily. Is the round over?
There's 10 holes. Yeah, stop right there. That's all that.
I mean, it's a lot of fun when that happens.
Right. Have you, I guess, maybe they're asking, have you ever done that? Or you 6 out of the first table? It is a trick question. I'm changing it.
That's a
Anybody have one like that?
I don't believe I've ever had 6 in the last 8, but I definitely have gone like 5 and 7 a couple times. I've gotten in a run. Just played the other day at American Classic, and I had like 4 birdies in the first 6 holes. So like that was a pretty good round.
Yeah.
6 on the last 8 would be a phenomenal way to end, and I'm sure Brooke would need to deflate my head as soon as I got home after that. So but that'd be cool.
I think that's a great goal for myself.
Isn't that a great goal?
Awesome.
All right, we're getting down.
I have a question.
Oh, there's a question from the floor. Question from the floor, Jason.
That round that you just had, do you think it's time to move you back to throw?
Oh, you want me to have my own division now? I mean, I am playing the tips in. I am. Oh, I know you wouldn't like this question. I don't know, man. Like, I look out there right now and there's 10, 15 players that throw it further than I do. So I don't know. Sure, let's do it. I'll try it. Can we call it the Showtime division?
Maybe that could be our contest. Me and you. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, we're getting down to the final 3 questions. And, yeah, it's all 3. And we'll start with Jeff. Describe fling golf in 6 words or less. 6 words, you only get 6 words.
You picked me to start?
Yeah, you're quick on the spot. 6 words or less. You get the other.
Athletic,
Okay.
physical,
Violent.
No comments from the gallery.
fun, addicting,
Yeah, 2 more.
camaraderie, championships.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Amy, are you ready? Go for it.
Solace.
Fancy words.
It's my solace, okay?
Let's hear from the ladies.
Challenge. Fantastic.
You're only halfway
I
there.
know.
I got a
Healthy. Healthy.
You don't have to use, it's 6 or less. You don't have to use all 6.
Okay, healthy was good.
You want to, and that's it. Thanks for the clarification. You don't have to use all 6.
For me, family. Guys, calm down. It's my turn. Yeah, family. Delaware, just because I feel like we've done a lot there. Showtime.
Good job, Tiny Austin.
I mean, definitely like skillful, like you have to be skillful. And then, what do I want to say here? Escape. Fling golf was huge for me, and I won't dive into it, but I was in a very dark place in my life before this whole thing started in 2022, so I owe it to fling golf every day, and it keeps me going, so I love fling golf. It's done a lot for me and saved me from doing harmful things.
All right, we got one more. We have one serious question. We'll finish with a non-serious question. And I want to make sure everybody knew the cans of Lost Bell beer are up here, so you can still enjoy beverages as we finish up tonight's program. What is your pre-fling ritual, pre-tournament ritual? If you have only one ritual, what you can't do without before you do a tournament? Anybody ready to jump in? Awesome.
It's a simple question, Navy. It's, hey, am I going to win this weekend? And I let her know how many chances I have to win, and she always comes back with like 5. And I'm like, honey, I'm only in like 2 events. So I definitely do that, and I also pick which underwear I wear each day.
Yeah, I would definitely say mine is family, like spend as much time with family as I can, and then knowing I'm gonna be away, still get my practice in, but have some quality time with them as well.
So not over.
Outfits.
I would say Chick-fil-A, if it's possible, for breakfast. And
We don't have Chick-fil-A anymore.
I know, so I'll have to adjust. And then I kind of get nutty about which golf balls I'm going to use, so I spend some time going through golf balls in the back of the car. I don't want to like sound crazy, like they speak to me or nothing, but like I just kind of get a feel for a golf ball that I'm going to use. So I know it sounds nuts.
Good. All right, well, you all have great sports, and so I think this is a great closing question because it involves action and can transition us to the rest of the evening having fun. And that is, can you even dance? Show us your best dance moves. All right, dance moves. Come on, let's do dance. All right, let's see some dance moves. There we go.
You guys know I'm an introvert, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's how you exit the stage. You want to exit the stage. Oh no! You got a table! End the evening on something tasteful. Last dance moves. Where's it going? Let's go do that fun. Here we go. Gotta see it.
Oh.
That's the dance move.
Oh.
Enjoy the rest of the evening. There's going to be some roll-ball action a little bit later. Check in with Stance on and Cutter on that. Otherwise, get a good night's sleep. We'll see some of you up here at 7 o'clock-ish for a speed fling. And John's got the pairings, so come look at your pairings by the goal, who you're playing with, who you're playing against, make your strategies. Thank you. That is all.